MangaKamen here. So, you guys hear about this BetterHelp thing?
You mean the Chaos Emeralds?
Of course, when this story broke... And now you've got Defranco, a major player in this, going on damage control and having lost a whole bunch of subs over the last couple of days and weeks. Heck, at this point he's pretty much ignoring it and trying to work past it in hopes that people would forget about this.
We're all waiting on Defranco's video of his trip to the BetterHelp offices to defend his beloved business partner. And the weekend of his visit came, it passed, and did we get a video? Nope. We only got a Twitter statement from Phil cutting his ties with BetterHelp and then going back to his show like nothing ever happened.
Unfortunately, it kinda is working. Link in description if you want to see the full video, but in any case, there's been a lot of talk about how this situation. And one such creator about this is our subject of the day, ReviewTechUSA.
I miss my conversations about llamas.
A rather lackluster channel in my humble opinion that talks about video games, tech, politics, and whatever you want. And as you'll soon see, using gameplay footage in this video whenever he talks over it about the subject, and I thought we were past Leafy's style of content making.
So this is a video that needs to be made and things need to be said that I feel that other content creators in the YouTube community are afraid to say, even though they should be said, because they are afraid of the backlash. Because we all know that once the mob mentality takes over, if you go against the grain or you have different think than that mob mentality, then you become a target. And the fact that people are not allowed to express their opinions because they are afraid of backlash is absolutely ridiculous, and I hate tribalism with a passion.
Well, what Rich, and yeah, that's his name, screw you, I'm not going to say his channel name every time I address him, while he says is true, that's not ultimately the case. You see, if you manage to make a strong enough case and have enough evidence to support your claims that are strong enough, then you don't need to worry about mob mentality. I should know, most of my channel is built on that. Or hell, if you want an example that is my own personal experience, look towards harmful opinions, and when he exposed the YouTubers who were promoting Candid. He, in his own words, was just a guy making videos in his room and went against countless YouTubers who were shilling the product Candid. Really, while I do agree that mob mentality is a thing and it's pretty toxic, if you've got what it takes and you can back up what you say, you shouldn't be afraid of it, especially if you've got the truth on your side. Now, I'm not saying like the whole thing here is truthful, there's always going to be information that we don't know. But considering what Rich is doing here, that's what he's doing, right? Because you believe you've got the truth on your side? I mean, how you present it won't, but whatever.
Yeah, I would hope that the human species would have evolved beyond tribalism by now, but apparently we haven't, and we still act like a Congress of apes.
Well, I mean... You're not exactly proving that statement wrong.
This company BetterHelp seeming sketchy below the surface. Well, they are sketchy below the surface if you do some research. A lot of YouTubers who promoted them, such as Phil Defranco, Shane Dawson, Boogie2988, are going through a world of crap right now from other YouTubers due to the fact that they promoted BetterHelp.
No, Rich. Don't try to misconstrue the situation. Are you ignoring the fact that Phil Defranco was partnered with the company, had a full team of research to research the terms of service about the company, BetterHelp? You'd think that he'd look into the company he's partnered with and actually getting money from.
I don't know if you can see that. Is that showing on the screen? Hold on.
I don't know what Rogue Rocket is. So you know for a fact, like you can prove that's DeFranco's company?
Yes.
Yes. You get that if you go to betterhelp.com/boogie?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, you do.
Well, I guess I've made DeFranco literally dozens of dollars at this point. Affiliate plus UTM
So you're saying you
campaign.
didn't know anything about this? Like, this is just...
No, man.
Boogie himself stated that he didn't know Defranco's company was behind the affiliate link.
So, right off the bat, you're being disingenuous about the whole situation already, Rich. Not a good sign.
Now, the conspiracy theory going around the internet, and I've seen in a bunch of YouTube videos, is a lot of these YouTubers that promoted the BetterHelp service were pretending to be depressed to make people more inclined to actually try to use the service.
And these people are...
In my head, I'd be scratching while my thoughts were busy hatching if I only had a brain.
I mean, these people could exist. But I guess it's easier if you just make a straw man to fight than to actually confront the arguments head on. For all I know, these YouTubers do exist, but since this controversy blew up, I don't know which YouTubers you're referring to are making this claim. I mean, are you referring to Memology's videos on the subject? But wait, according to your Twitter, you didn't want to watch him, so who exactly are you talking about?
A lot of times the BetterHelp advertisement would be attached to a video where they're talking about, you know, their depression or their loneliness or how YouTube makes them depressed. And of course, due to that, a lot of conspiracy theories started flying, and a bunch of YouTube videos peddling conspiracy theories started going all over the place saying, hey, look, these YouTubers are faking being depressed or having mental health issues to get people to sign up for the service so they can make money.
Don't you think that requires a little bit of scrutiny, especially considering that we had a situation with Candid last year that you are a part of?
We don't know. You could push all the conspiracy theories you want to, but you have no way to know what is going on in another person's head. You have no way to know if Boogie2988 was actually depressed when he made his video and had a BetterHelp ad in there. You don't.
Well, actually, we kinda do, since he talked about it in the clip I showed when he was talking about the service. I mean, if he's to be believed, he liked the service but didn't know the background dealings about it. And again, who is making this claim, Rich? I suppose it's much easier to create an imaginary enemy to fight than to go against actual people.
No, maybe he did make a video talking about his issues and saying, hey, this would be a great advertiser for it because I'm talking about mental health issues and here is a mental health service. I really don't think it goes deeper than that. I know it's really juicy and people love drama and like to think that things are always evil and there's always some kind of crazy conspiracy behind them. But I really don't think that any of these people that promoted BetterHelp really thought about it that much. That's part of the problem, and I'll talk about that in a second.
Meanwhile,
You have no way to know what is going on in another person's head.
I mean, you say we can't assume their motive, but then you assume what their motive is?
Yes, I know, it's stupid.
So why do you think your assumption is correct?
But I think that other people are overthinking how much these content creators thought about the BetterHelp sponsorship. I really do. Now, you want to hear something interesting? I started sending myself emails of articles, and I titled them BetterHelp, okay? And when I sent them to my Gmail,
It's so boring.
when I typed in BetterHelp as the topic of the email that had the link, I saw that about a year ago, BetterHelp actually emailed me with a sponsorship opportunity. And on the surface, like I said, man, the service seemed awesome. The fact that someone could call and get mental health services over the phone without having to go to an office, I probably would have taken them as a sponsor, to be quite honest with you. And I would have made the same mistake that Shane Dawson made, that Boogie made, that Phil DeFranco made, and I wouldn't have checked the terms of service.
Excellent.
That's wrong, but it's just, you know, I would have tried out the service probably. It would have been like, oh, cool, a mental health professional is a phone call away. That sounds like something great to advertise. What the hell? Sign me up. I would have done it too.
Okay then, that's smart. Hooray for ignorance!
I'm thankful now that I didn't do it because I would have been part of this controversy, but I'm just saying and putting it out there, I understand what they did. Yes, they were wrong for not checking the terms of service, but to be honest with you, I wouldn't have either. I would have either just tried the service or just like looked at the website and looked into it, like, and to be like, oh, what do they offer? And then I would have been like, hell yeah, this is cool, man. People could get, if they're depressed or anxious, they could talk to a mental health professional and get almost instant help.
You know, you got a lot of mouth, and I got a lot of fists for your mouth.
You admit that they should have done this. So, what are you trying to get at here, Rich? You're advocating ignorance, and that's a dangerous stepping stone. You can't just do surface level research when you're getting a sponsor. You need to look at the company more and more, because if you promote the service you're using with your name, then you're using your trust with your fans to support it. And if it comes out that the service is terrible or a scam, then guess what? It looks bad on the people who promoted it. Not just because they use their brand and name, but because it'll seem like they lied to their audience about it. And even then, if that's not the case, then it proves they're kind of idiotic for doing so in the first place.
So you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that they shouldn't have done more research, but I don't think that Shane Dawson, and I don't think that Phil DeFranco, and I don't think that Boogie and whoever else promoted BetterHelp, I can almost guarantee you that there wasn't some kind of sinister underlying motivation that they had. They just thought it was a cool service. They didn't look into it enough, and they thought it was a good sponsor to have.
meanwhile,
You have no way to know what is going on in another person's head.
And if you look to your left, we see that Rich's own ignorance on the matter. It was proven that Defranco was getting money when other YouTubers promoted the service. He was getting a cut as a partner when other YouTubers used affiliate links.
Affiliate plus UTM.
So you're saying you didn't know anything about this? Like, this is just...
No, man.
Boogie himself stated that he didn't know Defranco's company was behind the affiliate link.
These people have others working with them. Defranco has a new network, Boogie has someone to go over this, and so why the hell did no one bother to read the terms of service at all?
That was it. That's all it is.
Meanwhile,
You have no way to know what is going on in another person's head. But I know no matter what I say, all this drama is great, and it's great for people to get views off of it, so they're not going to shut the hell up about it.
That's kind of ironic coming from the guy who kept making several videos about Gamergate, debacle, and Anita Sarkeesian.
To all you super woke geniuses out there, I'm going to drop some knowledge on you right now that's going to blow your mind. It's thinking common sense is gonna blow you away. Bullshitter alert! I know you think you're smarter than most people out there, which that must be a great way to be. I wish I could think like I'm the most intelligent person on the planet, but I'm going to let you in on some information. It's kind of logical, too. That's the crazy part. So put on your thinking caps and let's discuss something that should be common sense. But common sense is not common.
Yeah, that's smart. Talk down to the people you're making out to be conspiracy theorists and not actually address the complaints and arguments. That'll get people to listen to you for sure.
You magnificent bastard, I read your book!
Now I'm sure that BetterHelp, especially with the more successful YouTube channels, offered a pretty decent chunk of change, some pretty decent coin. But do you honestly think that a YouTuber would knowingly anyway, in 99.9% of cases, I know we could go to like the CSGO Lotto days with T. Martin, but that's an exception. That's not the norm. Like, even if BetterHelp offered Phil Defranco like $1.5 million up front, do you think he would destroy his entire career for that $1.5 million when his channel has numerous other avenues of revenue that he can make money from?
meanwhile,
You have no way to know what is going on in another person's head. Do you think he would destroy his entire reputation for one sponsor and ruin something that he has built up for like well over a decade?
Well, if you could get away with it, yeah, pretty much. You'd be surprised what people are willing to do if they can get away with something. I brought it up earlier, but the Candid situation basically had people proclaiming that it was a free speech app when it wasn't. Or if you want to get a more interesting example, let's talk about the Paul brothers, who most of the time get away with everything they do. Heck, they get away with massive promotion of merchandise to kids in all their videos, but they don't face any repercussions from it. Unless it was something really big, of course.
Just to make some quick cash off of one sponsor, even if it was in the $1 million plus range? And ruin everything else and ruin other sponsorship opportunities, have his channel get destroyed so no one watches it and financially supports him anymore? Come on! Does that make sense to you? Think about it. Does that make sense? I know you're watching your woke videos and you feel super, super smart and that you know more about the situation than you actually do, but does that make sense to you? Like, say you had a channel which had 10 plus million subscribers and you made a ton of cash from whatever advertising revenue just from ads on your videos. You have a Patreon, you have merchandise that you make a ton of money off of. Would you risk that all for one sponsor even if they were paying super well and then the rest of your career would be ruined? Would that be worth it? Do you really think about it? It doesn't make sense.
Really all depends on the situation of the YouTuber. I find it really funny that you claim that this was the mindset of Defranco and other YouTubers when...
you don't know yet.
Way to present your opinion as fact! And it's common sense. When it isn't. Ugh.
Now to all you internet warriors, you white knights who want to hold these evil YouTubers accountable, let me ask you a question. You remember Kaplan University and Lincoln Technical Institute? Remember how NBC and ABC, CBS, any kind of major television network out there used to push those for-profit universities? Why am I bringing that up? Well, you know something about those for-profit universities? They were a goddamn scam. No one got jobs when they left those schools, and the people who actually went to those schools were burdened with debt that they couldn't afford to pay back. It was a profit scheme, and every single major television network out there pushed commercials for them. Are you going after CBS and ABC and NBC and Fox and all the other major television networks for having those advertisements? No, because you're morons and you're conditioned just to take it from television.
Were you knocked on the head or something? What?
Okay, so essentially disagree with Rich and you're a moron. That's a good moral of the day.
To you, television is this magical box that whatever it spews, it's okay.
Now you're assuming what's going on in my head? You don't know what I'm thinking. And even then, Rich is ignoring the possibility that people don't know about the situation. I certainly didn't. Now, chalk it up to my own ignorance, but that's kind of the point. You're assuming that people who talked about the BetterHelp would know about this particular situation and decided it wasn't worth talking about. Considering that Rich here doesn't bother to provide any examples of people making these conspiracy theories, I could easily make the claim that people he is talking about did, and he doesn't know that they did or did not. I won't, since that's a straw man, but that's what Rich here is doing throughout the entire video. And even then, how do you know that people who complained about BetterHelp wouldn't complain about the situation if they learned about it? And even then, people have been criticizing the mainstream media for the past few years. That's the point of the new wave media sensation that you're a part of, Rich. You've made videos complaining about old media, and so have countless other people. How do you know this story hasn't been covered? How do you know that no one else has talked about it?
But for some reason, and I don't know why this is, and the Quartering said the same damn thing, and I agree with them 110%, we hold YouTubers up to this insane standard. Every single thing a YouTuber does, every sponsor that they have, every affiliate that they have, if they start crowdfunding, there's always some kind of insane conspiracy behind it.
Oh boy.
The accusations against Phil are largely incorrect, and there's a decent-sized group of people who are simply concern trolling. You've got guys like Keemstar on there like, you're making money from depressed people, says the guy whose entire channel is built on other people's misfortune.
What is this, a commentary and a commentary? Why not? Inception joke! Quartering, you never addressed any of the complaints or how anyone can take you at your word about this is beyond me. For someone who's anti-SJW, you're really showing that you love to use the listen and believe tactic.
Look, YouTubers have to make money. Well, they don't have to, but you get what I mean. Apocalypse changed everything, and Philip Defranco's, look, when one of my videos gets demonetized, I still go over to my other desk and I work all day, and that's fine. But the man is supporting other people's jobs. He has people that work for him. And so taking an opportunity like this, I don't blame the guy for that.
I'm starting to see some similarities between this train wreck and Rich's video.
Yes, I know, it's stupid.
In terms of the toss, right? That's another big issue people have with the BetterHelp toss. Okay, but again, this is more concern trolling, in my opinion. They'll tell you, oh no, I'm legitimately worried about sick people's information getting sold. These are the same people that probably never read their cell phone contract. They never read their Apple terms of service, because if they had, a lot of that same language, a lot of the indemnification, a lot of the self-protection, it's in almost everything we use. So don't act like BetterHelp's terms of service is really any different than anyone else.
Okay, again, I'm gonna have to repeat myself here, and I hate doing that, but since this is the Quartering and not ReviewTechUSA, who is making the argument? Is it that hard to provide evidence or put in a clip?
Wait, that's not right. Gotta undo that.
So I want to get to the accountability thing. If you're still here and you haven't automatically disliked this video because you're raging and you just want to be mad.
So that the complaint here is that BetterHelp was advertised to do the legwork, but their TOS claim otherwise.
Agree, confirm, and acknowledge that although the counsellor may provide the counsellor services through the platform, we cannot assess whether the use of the counsellor services, or the platform is right and suitable for your needs. Sorry, excuse me. What? That's the point of view. That's what you said your service does. That's what you're offering. You say you're going to assess our needs and thereby match us to a counsellor, but in order to get that service, we have to agree that you can't do that.
YouTubers are the only position I've seen in my life, that doesn't mean there aren't any, but none come to mind, who are held personally accountable for everything they advertise. If CNN runs this commercial, if you're watching Adult Swim and they run a commercial, are you calling up? Are you personally outraged if you don't like the service? No, nobody cares. But with YouTubers, we're in a unique situation where we do have to be a little more careful, because you have to acknowledge that there is a personal connection there, unlike any other.
Come on, we didn't like these scenes the first time.
And here we are, the point which Rich agrees with. First, way to assume that your own experience or lack of experience in this subject and proclaim it to be the truth. Again, going off ignorance here to state your own opinion as fact is dumb. Secondly, no duh. When you've got personal brands, which a lot of YouTubers do, Rice Gum, Logan Paul, Philip Defranco, hell, even myself, I'm a personal brand, that means there is an actual face to put this sort of situations. When bigger companies do this, the bigwigs can hide behind their numbers and the corporate logos, allowing the companies to take the brunt of the situation. You want an example? How about The Walking Dead and AMC? When the second season rolled out and when the main director of the show got kicked away and the crew was treated unfairly and unreasonably, there was no one person to be held accountable because of the corporate shield. If you want to see more about this, I'll link to YMS's video about it. But essentially, YouTubers who have a much more personal relationship with their audience, and most of whom show their faces, don't have that shield. So when controversies like this crop up, it's much easier to pin the blame onto them. You even know this. You say that you do, so why is this a hard concept to grasp? Ugh, this video is boring. Let's go back to Rich's.
But if NBC has the same sponsor, you won't even question it. If Phil Defranco has that sponsor, there'll be all these red flags raised, but that same sponsor could be on a major television network, and derp, it's okay because it's on TV.
Oh, it's just as boring! And I'm done. Wow, that was a waste of time. Yeah, there's more to the video, but it's nothing really worth responding to.
But I assure you, YouTubers way more successful than me,
meanwhile,
you have no way to know what is going on in another person's head. And me, myself, are not trying to screw you over purposely.
Now, this was no ordinary idiot. He was a colossal idiot.
Look, with this whole situation, it's best to come in swinging with evidence. If you think that the evidence against Defranco is bunk, then it's up to you to prove it. If you can't prove it, sit down, shut up, and don't try to label people who are loving the criticism as conspiracy nuts. Now look, I'm not really making this out to be that Defranco was 100% guilty. I do think that there is evidence to prove that he is guilty in this situation and did take advantage of people. However, I do think that there is room for doubt. There is a room for doubt in every case. I'm more along the lines swinging on to what I've seen, that he is guilty of what he's being accused of, as well as what BetterHelp has been doing, especially with their shady practices and what they've been doing in the time of this. If you want more information on the situation, I'll provide a link to Memology's channel, as well as a few other videos who talk about this. In any case, like I keep saying, make sure you watch every sort of video that you can. Don't just get one side of the conversation in these matters. You've got to make sure that everyone's side is heard, and make your own conclusion. My name is Common, and remember to examine your fandom.